actually, let me see if I have this right. All right. I feel a little bit, oh, is it not sharing right now?
It is.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. I almost feel like, Cynthia, we should just hand the mic over to you because I'd much rather learn about you than actually talk about me. So I'm going to use this opportunity to just maybe give you an overview of what I hope to, speak about today, which is let's appreciate the things that make you, you. I'm happy that I got to go after Mr. Ang, who did a wonderful job talking about the importance and value of community. So I think I get to take a little bit of a look inward and talk about what makes each of us members of that community, right? And recently, I think, unfortunately, we've all been made aware of how people who are different or maybe who are minorities can sometimes feel like they don't matter or aren't as valued. So I thought that I would take some time to describe how I learned to value the things that make me, me. So as you know, I am a teacher at East Palo Alto Academy, where many of the young adults in this Zoom room go to school. Cynthia, you got a question?
My sister goes to that school.
Awesome. I hope to be able to have her in my classroom one day soon. What's your sister's name?
Her name is Citlali Rios.
Oh, wonderful. I've seen that name, although I've not met the student. I look forward to meeting that student and also look forward to meeting you one day soon too, I think, right? When you get up to your sister's age. So East Palo Alto Academy High School is where I teach. But I'm gonna take a trip back to maybe Cynthia, when I was about your age, and maybe the age of some of the other younger students or kids in the room right now. As a kid, I really liked My Little Pony. Does anyone in the room have a favorite pony? Or let me ask a level 1 question. Does anyone know the names of any of these ponies?
Rainbow Dash.
Oh, wonderful, Cynthia. 10 points to you. Rainbow Dash is a wonderful pony right there. For those of you who do not know, she is the blue Pegasus right there with the rainbow hair. Okay, there's Rarity, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, Twilight Sparkle, and Fluttershy, and little Spike over here, the dragon. Now, these were not the ponies that I grew up with, but I figured these were ponies that I think you folks might be a little bit more familiar with. Anyways, the message is the same. When I grew up as a kid, I really enjoyed My Little Pony because they all had different personalities, but in spite of all those differences, they were able to be really good friends. Now, as a teenager, when I got up, to high school and such, I started listening to a lot of different musical groups. And one of the groups that I listened to was called the Spice Girls. I listened to them a lot, and I still do. And what made the Spice Girls special was that they were also very different. They had different personalities. They were each known for different things. But their message was, let's accept everybody. And so that's something that I got from them. They taught me to accept everyone. And in accepting everyone, I think you have to include yourself in that everyone. So I learned to accept myself through these different things. Now, as an adult, I am a teacher at East Palo Alto Academy, where I try to live up to that as a teacher. I definitely have a focus that I'm working on, which is helping students and young people to value themselves because we are all different and everyone deserves to feel safe and valued and to feel like they belong. As a child, I don't know if I really felt that feeling of belonging, but I can remember to specific times when I was a kid that I felt like my culture or who I was recognized, was seen, and valued. And so this is a picture of me as a kid. looks very different than the picture of the person on top there, which again looks different than the person who's on your screen right now. But as a kid, I really started to understand my culture more when in elementary school we started learning about the Chinese New Year or the Lunar New Year. So does anyone in here know when during the year the Chinese or Lunar New Year is? Typically, it's not the same New Year as like what we celebrate on January 1st. But Miss Ho, do you have an answer?
Yeah, it's usually like around the end of January or February, early February, depending on the lunar calendar.
Right. So we have a different New Year because we go by a different calendar. But during Lunar New Year or Chinese New Year, what you get to do as a kid is you get to visit a lot of different families, you get to visit a lot of different houses, and each time you visit a different person's house, they give you what's called a red envelope. Um, Inside the red envelope is usually some amount of money, okay? And so kind of you kind of map out in your mind which houses to hit up first because you know the amount of money that's going to be in that red envelope you're going to get. Now, as a kid, you didn't really have a choice. You just went where your parents took you. But I wanted to show you all some examples of red envelopes because I still get them, believe it or not. Here's a pretty standard red envelope. I haven't even opened it yet to see how much money is inside because I value them more now just for the sake of having them. Here's another one. This past year, the year that just passed, was the year of the ox. Cynthia, question?
Someone who comes in our house, one time she gave us one of those like little red envelopes, and I got I think $5 or $10 in them.
Ooh, wonderful. Lucky you. See, the wonderful thing about these red envelopes is that, yeah, there's money in them, but really what people are handing to you is like wishes of good luck and wishes of that you're going to have a great and healthy and fortunate new year. So, it symbolizes a lot. And these are things that I got a lot of when I was a kid. Something else that really helps me to think about this time of year is the firecrackers that would go off. I live in San Francisco, and you would hear a lot of these things going off. And as a kid, I was really scared of them because they're really loud, and they would usually be accompanied by lion dancers. Now, this is a pretty cute lion dancer, but when you're little and you see this great big uh, colorful looking monster moving its head around in front of you, it could be kind of frightening. But now I appreciate them when I see them in the stores and everything. They're really festive, and it's great that the culture is still alive. And there's a story behind the lion dance, which I don't know if I fully remember, but it's about how back in the old days when people lived in villages, they were afraid of there being evil spirits that would come around. So the lion dance was supposed to help fight off those evil spirits. And that's why we have lion dancers as a part of our tradition and culture. Yeah, I was one of those kids that cried for 30 minutes straight. Now, as an adult, though, I don't cry when I see lion dancers anymore. But I do still value the traditions that that help me to keep this culture alive, and it brings back great memories for me for when I was a kid. Cynthia, I see your hand up. I love it. What's your question?
In music class, we were learning about Lunar New Year, and we watched a video about those dragons, I think they are. And well, I really don't. I like the video because there was a bunch of music in the background, and I like the music. And then we learned. I forgot what day it was that my teacher said that it was. I think it was like Friday, February something. I don't really remember, but we saw a video about that.
Wonderful. I'm glad to know that people are still learning about these things because Um, it's cool to know that some of the things that you learned when you were growing up are still out there and people are still learning. So this is a picture of my mom and me during our Lunar New Year celebration earlier this year. This was back in February. We didn't get to go outside at that time because of the pandemic, so we celebrated just the two of us at home. We ordered dinner and we cooked it. And normally, this little dish with the candies in it is supposed to be presented to visitors that come to your house. But even though we were not having any visitors, I wanted to put that dish out anyways because I enjoy looking at it. It helps me feel festive. It helps me to feel like I'm part of something bigger. Now, the Lunar New Year, as I think, Cynthia, you are referring to it, is the calendar that we use comes from a zodiac. The word zodiac means a circle of animals. Okay, so that's how we count the years. The Chinese zodiac consists of 12 signs, 12 animals, and it's what determines the lunar calendar. In the Western world, we might be familiar with the zodiac signs like Virgo, Gemini, Leo, and such. But in the Chinese calendar, we use animals. And it's also called the lunar calendar because it is based on the cycles of the moon. In Chinese astrology, there are 12 zodiac signs. Because the moon's cycle repeats itself every 12 years, there are 12 animals in our Chinese horoscope, one for each year of the lunar cycle. Oh, I see that you're a Scorpio. I am a Virgo in the Western calendar. Now, in the Chinese zodiac, the origins of it go back thousands of years, but these are the 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac. And depending on what year you were born, you can see what animal you are in the zodiac. So I was born not in 2005, but I am a rooster because I was born in the year 1901, where it was the year of the rooster. So there's a story behind this zodiac that I wanted to tell. And I'm actually going to use the help of a story book. So this is the story of how the animals came to be on the Chinese zodiac. A very long time ago, the Jade Emperor, who ruled the heavens of China, sent a message to all the animals asking them to come together so that he could give each of them a year, which would make it easier for the people of China to keep track of time. The cat and the rat were good friends and decided to travel to meet the Jade Emperor together. When it came time to leave, however, the cat was taking a nap. The rat, realizing that he would have to use all his cunning to be noticed by the Jade Emperor because he was so small, he left his friend sleeping and he set off on his own. This is why in the zodiac, there is no year named after the cat. And it's also why cats have hated rats ever since. When the rat arrived, the Jade Emperor welcomed him and the other animals and told them that they should all take part in a swimming race. Once again, the rat realized that he would have to be very clever if he wanted to win the race. He found the largest, strongest animal, which was the ox, and he pleaded with him to let him ride on its head. The ox was kind and strong and agreed that they would swim across together. The rat traveled safely across the river on the ox's back, but just before they reached the other side, the rat climbed over the ox's head, jumped onto the land, and reached the finish line first. The rat had proved its cunning, and the Jade Emperor named the first year after the rat and the second year after the ox. Now, I remember hearing that story as a kid thinking that rats were so gross, They just like live in the sewers and they eat garbage. But when I read this story or heard this story, I was like, oh, rats are pretty cool. They're smart, they're cunning. I did not know that, or I did not think of that. So there's always two sides to a story and to a person's personality. Now, I hear a lot of, or rather see a lot of conversation about which animal sign people are based on what year they were born. So I wanted to share something with you all that I found, which I thought was pretty cool. I see that there are some tigers in here. There's a rooster, and are there any other animals here other than the rooster or the tiger? Do we have any snakes? Monkey. All right, we have some monkeys in here. All right, so let's take a look at what each of these animals represent in terms of our personality. Oh, Mr. Ang says he's a pig and Brianna's a monkey as well. All right, let's take a look. I'm gonna stop presenting here and actually go to this website. I'm actually gonna drop this link in the Zoom chat for you all to take a look at on your own. So I'm gonna go to the monkey first. Let's see. Year of the monkey. All right, so that's a picture of the monkey. The real thing, the monkeys are social and playful. They show affection and friendship by picking bugs and dirt out of each other's fur. These animals use their hands and feet to grip objects and climb trees. Some even have tails that can grab items as small as peanuts. But if you were born in the year of the monkey, here's what the horoscope might say about you. Swinging from one group of friends to another, you love to have a good time. You like to entertain your friends by showing off your talents, and they appreciate your cleverness and sense of humor. So that's what the horoscope says about monkeys. So Brianna and Christian, I think I can see you in that description. Let's see what the tiger is. Oh, well, let's go to this pig, year of the pig. I know that Mr. Ang is a pig. So if he was born in the year of the pig, Mr. Ang is smart and caring. He lives to help other people. He has great taste and loves to wallow in the nicer things in life. So for those of us who know Mr. Ang, we might ask ourselves whether or not we think that description fits his personality. Cynthia, you said you were a tiger, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's find this tiger. Oh, did I miss it? Was it at the top? Oh, here, year of the tiger. All right, so tigers in the wild, tigers are the largest of the big cats. They hunt alone, they secretly stalk prey, then leap and attack when the time seems right. Dinner still escapes most of the time though. But if you were born in the year of the tiger, you are a natural leader. In the last 1 hour that I have been with you on Zoom, Cynthia, I know this is 100% true. You like to do things by yourself, and that's how you stay in charge. You believe in fighting for what's right, even if it means maybe you'll lose in the end, because it's not the end that matters, it's the fight. So tigers, awesome job. Thank you for sticking up for things that matter and for taking charge. Ms. Ho, you were a rooster, correct? Oh, Ms. Ho, does this mean that you were also born in the year 1901?
Yeah, I think I was.
Wow. Okay. Well, Ms. Ho, the rooster's loud cock-a-doodle-doo attracts females and warns other males to stay away. The red comb on his head may help other roosters identify him, and it also sets him apart from other bird species. So those of us who are born in the year of the rooster, we are practical and resourceful. We use what we have to succeed without taking a lot of risks. We are hard workers. We say what's on our mind, and we have a sense of style that sets us apart. So for year of the rooster, you can see these are the years. Are there other animals in here? Other horoscope or zodiac animals? Well, I thought that was, oh, the snake. My sister is a snake. I would love to read about her too. Let's see. The year of the snake. Where is it? Oops. All right. The year of the snake. Oh, snakes have great instincts. In the wild, some, quote, play dead to fool predators. Most sense prey by detecting ground vibrations. They can take more than an hour to swallow a meal, and they become inactive for up to 2 weeks before they shed their skin. Now, born a snake, you rely on your instincts before asking others their opinions. At times, you want to take a break from the action. It's not that you're lazy, sometimes you just like to think. So we've got some thinkers in here too. Well, I thought that was a cool little like exercise to see, hey, what are these different personalities that each of us has? You know, obviously we may or may not agree with 100% of what the quote horoscope tells us. And ultimately, each of us gets to decide who we are. So my question to all of us is, why not be the best that we can be for not only ourselves, but everybody else in the world?